What's going on, everyone? So we got an ESPN report posted from Adrian Wojnarowski from Ramona Shelburne, who basically dove in to a potential Lakers Warriors trade that was discussed, and even went to LeBron James's representation. So over the Gladstone 24-hour window prior to the trade deadline last Thursday, that included owner-to-owner conversations. The Golden State Warriors made an unsuccessful bid to convince the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James to consider a trade to pair him with longtime rival Steph Curry, sources told ESPN. It was also added that the Warriors were eager to present a deal package to LA, but neither the Lakers nor James were ultimately willing to explore a potential blockbuster. Even at 39 years old, James is still playing at an all-NBA level that stirred the Warriors' imagination about his ability to extend the window of the franchise fading dynasty. It was also added in the article, which definitely recommend go checking out, go reading. It was very interesting. All the Warriors players were really pushing for it. Primarily Draymond was mentioned in that. But basically, the Genie Bus and Rob and everybody were like, nah, it's not going to happen. But if you want to reach out to Rich Paul just to see and gauge where they're at, then sure, go ahead. But we're not planning on trading LeBron unless he demands out. And ultimately, nothing happened. As you can tell by the report, LeBron James said no, he's not interested. And thus, the deal didn't get traded. But the reason I thought this was interesting, one of the reports that came out per David Pigler, who was a KTLA sports guy, we talked about this. He said, hearing from NBA peeps, King James is the top of the Lakers list to trade the 39-year-old. Pelinka is looking for the right team to dance with and is close to a suitor. LeBron James and AD both out tonight. This was a report like a couple days, which would have been around the time that the Lakers and Warriors may have had this conversation. So when I saw that article posted, I was like, I wonder if that's what David was talking about, because David is a guy that he's actually been right about a lot of things. He's very reputable, and it just kind of seemed like almost like a clickbait thing, but it's like he's not known for that. He's actually pretty well connected from everything I've gathered and seen from him. So I just thought it was odd that he just like would randomly post this. And now, you kind of connect the dots. It's like, okay, maybe it wasn't random. Maybe he really was told, hey, like the Lakers and the Warriors are having discussions about LeBron James. Now, ultimately, again, like the Lakers weren't going to trade LeBron. Even when I talked about that report, I was like, it's one of those things, I'll believe it when I see it. I did say, though, that there were a handful of teams that I think could make sense if there was a potential LeBron James trade, and Golden State was one of them, right? I talked about, maybe a package around Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and then you probably take on like Chris Paul's contract or whatever to match salaries and stuff. But doing something like that to where you could get a young Kuminga, I definitely could have seen that making sense if the Lakers wanted to go to a new direction and LeBron James wanting out. Obviously, it's kind of like, what's the value? What are the Warriors willing to give up? But again, if you read the report, the Warriors were pretty like, hey, we'll basically give you whatever if you're willing to give us LeBron James. So I think the Lakers could have gotten quite the interesting return for LeBron. But one, again, look, I've talked about it. This is why LeBron, he's not leaving in the offseason, right? Never say never. So I don't want to say it's 100%. But it's one of those things, I would genuinely be shocked if the Lakers ended up losing LeBron James in the offseason. Look, I understand his son may get drafted. I believe he will. I think his son will get drafted just solely on some team, even in the second round, will just be like, hey, let's just take it. Even financially, there's going to be some owner that's like, you need to draft LeBron's son so we can get LeBron and make $100 million in the year or two or whatever he's here. So I have no concerns about his son getting drafted, but LeBron's here for more reasons than just basketball. His family wanted to be here. He's got business relations. He has a younger son, and Bryce that he's very likely going to USC. I believe he's even committed to USC. So he's going to stick around till at least that's done. So Lakers got LeBron for at least a year, maybe two, beyond this year, of course. So look, we're still about a year away before it'll be kind of like, oh, is LeBron really leaving? I just don't see it. If it happens, it happens. We will see. Time will tell. But to me, also, any type of Warriors deal or Warriors trade would have, to me, likely signaled that they were going to trade Anthony Davis too. Like, because look, I talked about it. Like, if you were to do, some type of like Cavs trade where you got like, say, Garland and, you know, Jared Allen or something, right? Now you could kind of convince, like, okay, we got that. You pair that with LeBron or with Anthony Davis. Maybe you go get another piece, right? Maybe you get like an Andrew Wiggins in the LeBron deal with Kuminga or something, right? Like, if you go that route, then I just think you hit the reset button. Where if you're going again, like I said, a Cavs route where you're getting a Garland and Jared Allen, well, it's like, okay, now you got those two with Anthony Davis. I just think you could convince Anthony Davis, okay, let's see what other star we could maybe potentially get some draft picks in the deal too. We could package that plus what we got, go get you another star. That's kind of how I would look at it. But a Warriors deal, you're probably getting some young guys in the deal. Even if you do get Andrew Wiggins, it's like, is that enough to convince Anthony Davis to stick around? I just don't buy it. Now, the Laker fan in me is like, this is silly. It's not going to happen. The NBA fan in me, I'm not going to lie, it would be kind of fun to see LeBron James play with Steph Curry. Not in a Warriors jersey, but in a Laker jersey, right? That's the Laker fan in me. If Steph Curry wants to, scoot on over to the Los Angeles Lakers, then I'm all for it. But no, it would be fun to just kind of see LeBron and Steph and LeBron and Clay and see what they could create. I mean, imagine those two playing alongside LeBron James and his playmaking ability and just the attention he draws. It would be unfair. And from a Warriors standpoint, I completely get why they would want LeBron. I mean, the level in which LeBron is playing, he's still playing like a top 10, 15 player at worst in the league. You pair that with a Steph Curry, because the Warriors, one of their biggest problems is just that other guy, right? That other creator, that other guy that can just go get a bucket, right? They're so Steph reliant at times. And like, look, the Warriors have been much better lately. Same thing with the Lakers too. But, the Warriors have been much better, but they could still desperately use just somebody else that could go and just go get buckets at will and even create for others and make some other plays beyond Steph. And LeBron James would just fit that seamlessly, right? I mean, it would be a perfect fit in so many ways. But it just, again, LeBron's really big about his legacy. And yes, he is a guy that, he's played with Wade and Bosh and Kyrie and Love and stuff, and now Anthony Davis. But I think he knows like what the perception of, oh, he went and played with Steph, and just the conversation that would present itself. And then even if they did win a championship, everyone in the world would be discrediting it. Not just that, but you have like the LeBron and Steph rivalry and the rings and stuff. And personally, I don't really think it's a rivalry. One guy is in the conversation for greatest player ever, whether you think he is or not. The other guy is in the conversation I wouldn't really say the conversation, I think he is the greatest shooter ever. But nobody's looking at Steph and going, oh, he's in the same stratosphere as a Michael Jordan or LeBron James or anything like that. Steph is an incredible talent, incredible player, but he's not a LeBron. He's not a Michael Jordan. So I know LeBron also knows what that would do for his legacy. I think he would go anywhere else before he went to the Warriors, right? Like, now, of course, the Lakers would also have to, it'd be one of those things. And you could make an argument that would be LeBron's kind of out of like, hey, I didn't necessarily want to come here. The Lakers traded me here. But look, he's not leaving Anthony Davis anytime soon. These two still have a puncher's chance to win the NBA championship this season. Now, I wasn't even going to talk about that news until like I it clicked that like, oh, the David report. So I just felt like it was something that was at least worth just kind of, it's always funny to hear those like what if stories and stuff. I don't even think this was ever really close. This is just teams doing their due diligence, right? The report even said that like Palinka called Daryl Morey about Joel Embiid, right? You just do it. You do your due diligence. You pick up the phone. Hey, what would it take to get LeBron? What would it take to get Joel Embiid? What would it take to get Giannis? What would it take to, every GM does it, right? The report even talked about Daryl Morey calling the Suns and calling the Lakers and all that stuff. Like, they all do it because you never know. Worst thing that happens is like, hey, we're not trading them. But if you don't ask, then you're not doing your job, right? And it's like, what if, some other team ended up getting, what if the Lakers did trade LeBron to somebody else? And it's like, the Warriors, like, Dunleavy, like, why didn't you pick up the phone and make the call, right? And then from the Lakers' perspective, like, what if Joel Embiid did get traded? And it's like, did you at least call? Like, I don't think the Lakers have the assets to get that, but you at least got to call, right? Because you never know. What if he says, like, yeah, Lakers are interested. That's where I want to go. Send me there. Right? You never know how things will play out. And I've always said this, like with the Lakers especially, right? If you told me 10 years ago that LeBron James was going to be a Laker, me and everyone else would have been like, yeah, that's not happening, right? Anthony Davis, same thing, right? No, but you just never know who's going to end up. I mean, you could date that back to Shaquille O'Neal, date that back to Pau Gasol. You pick them, right? So, look, LeBron, I would be shocked if LeBron ends up on another team next year. Now, in like 2-3 years, possibility. But anytime soon, don't count on it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What did you think of this news? What did you think of these updates? Think it's interesting. I thought the David report. I wonder if that meant something, right? But it's interesting that this even became a thing. Again, it was nothing. But again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments.